Hey, it's an exciting day for me today because I am at Schaffer Performance Archery and I got my new Mathews V3 with me, and I'm all ready to get it set up with Schaffer rest and sight. And I'm going to tell you about some pretty cool things about this new bridge lock system for Mathews, and then also the sight and the rest that I'm going to be shooting. Last year I was here and I put the Schaffer rest and sight on my bow for the first time, and I'm back because I really loved them. And we're gonna go through this and walk you through the process. It should be fun. Hang tight. Okay, here I am in Schaffer Performance Archery in Burnsville, Minnesota. I got John Schaffer here with me, and he is going to set up my new Mathews V3X, and he's going to explain how the bridge lock riser works. And he's got one of the sights that work with it. Not all sights will work with this new technology that Mathews came out with this year. So take it away, John.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna set up Bernie's V3X 33-inch axle to axle. It's Mathews' newest bow, and as Bernie said, we've got the bridge lock, which is a dovetail profile that's cut into the face of the riser, and we have our new DT Air sight to fit right in there, so it'll slide right in. Solid. Super low profile. We're also going to install our XV Aero rest, which has the Mathews M3 plate, so that'll mount like so. Neat thing about the rest for us this year is that only this rest and one other rest will work with their new low profile quiver. We'll get into that, once we get this stuff installed.
I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, it makes for a really slick system, and you'll see when we get it all installed. It's a really low profile. The bow is going to not be negatively affected by balance. So many of the sights now and quivers, they get so heavy, and arrow rests, they get so heavy and everything is off to one side, the bow always wants to lop over. And then
right. And I'm one of the guys that likes to leave the quiver on. Not everybody does, but I like to have that quiver right there, so I grab another arrow or whatever.
I'm with you. We call that Dukes of Hazzard style.
Is that okay?
Yeah. But yeah, I like to keep the quiver on all the time, and having that stuff on traditionally, means that the bow is out of balance, and you'll see guys do things like put a stabilizer over on this side to counter that. I'm not wild about that on a hunting bow. I'd rather keep everything nice and light and low profile and trim. So with this setup, once you see when we're done here, it's pretty impressive. So I guess we'll start with getting this arrow rest on. We've already got the draw length and weight correct for you, or
right?
Good there. All right, so we'll go ahead and start this, and you'll notice here we have a unique plate. This plate is actually made for this riser, and it's the best locking repeatable system there is, because we don't use any set screws to lock into the bow. We use a countersunk flathead, and as that countersunk is tightened down, it actually draws the rest in tightly to the back of the bow. There's a 5/1000 interference. So as we tighten this, you can see the rest is starting to snug up. Just a tiny amount of pressure. Now that rest cannot move anymore. Cool. And once you draw it down, it sucks it in really tight to the back of the riser. Nice thing about that is if you ever need to take it apart, to service something, you can take this bolt out, put it back on. That rest will be precisely in the exact location it was when you took it off. There's no need to mark anything or measure anything. It'll go exactly back where it was. So we're just going to snug that up. And I'm going to pull this bridge lock screw package off, because that'll be a little bit in our way here when we're tying.
While you're doing that, I have to tell you that I really like this rest. Show them how that works, where you can lock it in place.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to put on our little riser pad here to keep everything quiet. Yeah, let me grab an arrow here. And a couple great things about this rest. One, of course, we don't have a loop in here yet, but one nice thing is you don't have to cock the arrow rest before you shoot it. You just simply lay the arrow in there, and when you draw the bow back, because it always has these pylons in the upright position, when you draw the bow back, it'll automatically raise it up into position, and then these hooks on the top of our pylons will hold it in there so the arrow can't rattle around. It's not going to make any noise, it's not going to fall off the bow. You don't have to hold your finger on there. There's also no risk of with a conventional fall away, you always have the risk of the arrow getting caught in between the launcher and the riser. That can't happen here because the pylon forms a triangle, a little funnel, and it's impossible for that arrow to go where it's not supposed to go.
Right. And then you can pin that.
That's
too.
right.
So like if you're stalking or whatever.
That's right. So, you know, you're sitting in a ground blind or in stand, you have it on your lap or sneaking through the grass on a mule deer or something, you just lock the rest by pushing this button in. Now that arrow is completely locked in the bow, and it holds it better than any rest on the market.
I've learned to really like that feature on it.
Yep. Yeah, for hunting it's just fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing installed, and then once we get it there, then we just continue to serve in. And the important thing is two things. We want to make sure that timing is correct, so 1 to 2 inches closed, like we said, before it gets to full draw. But the second part of that is making sure that this is secured in a way so that it's impossible for this cord to ever move. We want it to be basically unitized. The actuation cord and the cable, we want that to be as one when we're done. So when we're done, we should be able to pull up on that actuation cord as hard as we can and not move it. So. Cool, so before we paper tune here, we're just going to get this sight put on, and we'll get the stabilizer on so it's all together. And as I said earlier, we've got our new DT Air sight. It builds off of our Opposition Air sight line that we've had for a few years. Really, really bright fibers, fully protected fiber optics. Everything's covered in stainless steel. This entire sight weighs 3.2 ounces, so it's extremely light. All machined aluminum and stainless steel. Just makes for a great package on this thing. You really don't even notice you have a sight on there with the balance of the bow changing at all. So.
Yeah, and it's one of the few sights that's adaptable to this new.
That's right. That's right. At least for now, there's only a couple sights that are fixed hunting sights that work on this with this bridge lock system.
Right.
So very simple. It just they've got the dovetail profile cut into the face of the riser. This just slides right in, and then the bows come with the bridge lock lock screw for that. So we'll get that baby out of there. And then we've got the corresponding detent, so you want to make sure that that set screw locks into the detent of the sight once it's in there. Stabilizer put on here. Do you use a wrist sling or no?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, it's maybe just down a touch.
Move the okay. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna have you shoot it a couple times before I tie it in. So we'll just blast a couple of arrows into this close bail. Just see how it keeps gonna spin for us. You're aiming at the top left?
Yeah. Quiet.
Yeah. Try that.
V3X.
You're at the wrong place.
Is it?
Talk you out of that, yeah.
I'm acting. I'm thinking that's my new bow.
You did?
Yeah. I didn't land one.
Yeah.
And
So John's got my bow all set up here, the new V3X, and I love it. I just told John that it reminds me of the Switchback XT, which is, I bought a 2006 bow, I think, that, and it's partly because it's a little longer. It's just a super smooth bow. I love the way it shoots, and I'm really excited about going out and kill some stuff with it. So John, thank you very much for doing a great job.
It must just about shoot itself, because even you were hitting the bullseye.
I know, something, yeah. It cancels operator error, I guess. So So hey, I'm back home here in the backyard. Just wanted to shoot this thing a few more times. I really like it, and I wanted to bring up a couple more things. Number one is I mentioned the switchback, which is highly regarded as possibly the smoothest shooting bow, compound bow of all time. It's well known for that, and for this bow to be considered as smooth as that with the technology advances and with the speed that this thing is putting out, it's really pretty remarkable in my opinion, and I really think I'm probably going to love this bow maybe more than any of the other many Mathews that I have shot. So we'll see, but so far I'm pretty enamored with it. The other thing was that I decided to go with the 33-inch model, and you can choose 27 or 33, but I have a fairly long draw length, 29 inches, and as I get older I feel that a little bit longer axle to axle bow seems to shoot better for me, so that's why I decided to go with the 33-inch bow this time. I've been shooting a shorter bow, but I'm just going to try a longer bow for this year, and got a feeling I'll probably stick with it. But anyway, so this is what I'll be shooting for the next year, and hopefully I'll be killing a lot of bears and deer and who knows what else with it, maybe even an antelope or an elk. I'm going to be doing more of that type of thing. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on the next video.